Well, welcome everybody. We are so happy that you are joining us. I am just honored. We have wanted to get Dr. Sears in Nebraska for a long time, and I'm so excited that he's going to be with us on Zoom tonight. So I want to first introduce a great friend of mine, Miss Kristen Schultz. Kristen is a mom of two. She has her master's in education leadership. She's a former elementary school teacher, passionate wellness educator whose desire to help others come from her whose desire to help others comes from her own family's challenges and triumphs. And you guys, it was 4 years ago tonight that I listened to Kristen's cardiovascular Vox, and I teared up even hearing it. If you haven't heard it, you need to. And I just knew that we were going to be great friends after hearing that. Kristen met the one and only Dr. Sears 25 years ago with an infant son in great need of a forward-thinking pediatrician. Dr. Sears' care and education changed her family's health and lives, and has for so many others as well. They have worked in a partnership together for almost 20 years, teaching families nationwide, one-on-one, and in large events and educational forums like this about the importance of whole food nutrition. We are in for such a treat tonight. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, you guys, for dedicating your time and pouring into us.
You are so welcome.
Kayla, thank you.
Well, everybody, it is always a privilege for me to be able to introduce to you Dr. Bill Sears. So, beloved Dr. Bill Sears, known as America's pediatrician, who has the most amazing experience, first as a father of 8, grandfather of almost 15, a writer, author of over 40 books. He's been on every kind of TV show, radio show, asked to speak all over the world. And his message is as important for babies as it is for seniors. You are going to be so blessed today by this presentation. So Dr. Bill has been working on, his latest book is on brain health. He's writing it with the foremost neurologist, Dr. Vince Fortnace, who is the Pope's personal neurologist and a professor out of USC. Dr. Bill, your accolades are too far for me to list all of them here. They're so amazing. I am super, super honored. I'll be sharing my story a little bit later. Suffice it to say that every time I'm on a call at an event with you, Dr. Sears, I learn something new. So many of you are going to want to take out your notes or your phones to take some notes and just listen and absorb, because the information you hear today is going to help you, your families, and everybody you know that you care to share this with. So let's get started, Dr. Sears. And do you start with...
There's our family. Now, you see that beautiful woman in blue right in the center there with the old man behind her. That is my number one accolade. You mentioned accolade, Kristen. I had the wisdom and the smartness to marry a Midwestern lady. Martha's from Missouri. So I married a Missouri woman. Aren't I smart?
And this is all your family that's still growing, yeah. Your kids and grandkids.
That's our family. That's what we have to show. This is my wealth.
Beautiful. So, Dr. Sears, this is your latest book, the Dr. Sears T5 Wellness Plan, and that's what a lot of your advice is going to focus on today.
Yes, and the brain, Kristen, is very complicated to talk about. So I'm going to give you the fun version, the simple version, with a lot of take-home tools. Now, very easy. We all hold the 5 keys to our brain health, to mental wellness in the palm of our hand. We want to eat smart, which we're going to learn. We want to move smart, which we're going to learn why movement is good fertilizer for the brain. We want to think smart, think happy. We want to sleep smart, and we want to learn smart. And I put all this into our newest book, the Dr. Sears Wellness Plan, co-authored with our daughter, Erin Lucille Sears, who has a lot of brain stuff to talk about too, and she reaches the younger age group. So really, this is brain health Kristen, for all ages today.
Thank you. I love your book, and all the listeners can get this on Amazon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are some of the concerns of the viewers on the call. It affects our concerns around the brain that affect our kids, that affect our parents, that we're concerned for our own health. And I just wanted to let everybody know to have hope, because the information that you're going to share today helps with all of these conditions.
Absolutely. Everything you're going to hear today. If you were to go to whatever doctor on brain health you would go to, all the tips you hear tonight are going to address every one of these issues. Every one of these issues. And just imagine you're going to, your family has all this stuff. We call it stuff in our family, okay? All the stuff you see here on the screen, all the D's, depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD. And you went to the top doc in the world, or your family full of stuff. And you said, Doctor, I am a show me the science type of mom and dad. I want the greatest, most effective, safest medicine for my family full of D's. And you know what she would say, the top doc would say? Dr. Mom told you that years ago. Don't worry, be happy. Eat more fruits and veggies and go outside and play. That was easy.
I think we have a slide on that coming up here. But who's this?
Missouri woman. This was Martha the day we met. All right, we met at the bedside of St. Louis University Hospital, called SLUH, St. Louis University. She entered one side of the bed at a code blue, a heart attack patient. She came to the one side of the bed as the nurse in charge. I came to the other side of the bed as a doctor in charge, senior medical student. She was already graduated, doing her fellowship nurse. It was love at first sight, and the rest is a 52-year beautiful history.
I just love that. I love seeing that picture of her. And tell us about what Martha said to you that transformed your life.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Martha. We wouldn't be on this call. And doctors marry nurses because we live longer. But I had to learn to listen to my nurse. So 20 years ago, I had a life-threatening illness. I had colon cancer. I come home from the hospital. My nurse sits me down. And you know, when women, especially your wife, looks at you with that feminine look that just disarms you, you must want to say, yes, dear. And she looks at me, gives me these 4 capsules, 2 green, 2 red, full of fruits and veggies. And she said, just take it. Yes, dear, just take it. But, you know, as a doctor and a stubborn male, you know, I needed truth. I said, I don't want to take anything, Martha, that I don't know what's in there. Show me the science. So I went to the science behind this Juice Plus, what Martha prescribed for me. And wow, it was the best science I've ever seen on any fruit and vegetable supplement. So those 3 words, just take it, transformed my life. I became a medical advisor for the Juice Plus company and still am 20 years later. It is the best health club I have ever joined. So I welcome you newcomers today to our club. What is the club about? We help one another grow. We help one another grow medically if we have medical issues. Socially, we're the greatest social network besides the greatest health club you'll ever join. We help one another grow financially. So welcome to the club. Really, this is the best health club, Juice Plus club I have ever joined.
Well, I'm so grateful to be on your club.
Yeah. Here's Dr. Mom's advice.
Dr. Mom's advice.
Dr. Mom's advice. And really, I'm going to run through each one of these as we talk. to show you why Dr. Mom was right.
Okay. So let's start with your 5S diet.
The 5S diet. And you know, every day I have 3 or 4 patients that I go through this diet. They come in with the D, ADD, ADHD, the big D, depression, the other big D, AD, Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, the other big D, diabetes. In fact, Alzheimer's is now called type 3 diabetes because of sugar spikes getting sticky stuff in the brain.
Wow.
So I start with the first S. I want to make it easy and smart. The first S, salads with spices. Salads with spices. A salad a day helps keep the brain doctor away. Every evening I have a smart salad and I put the smartest spice on my salad. Turmeric. Turmeric is your top brain spice. When you mix it with black pepper, it even works better. So next to my salad, I have turmeric and black pepper. The next is smart snacks. Snacking. The brain loves grazers. When you graze, you don't have spikes of unhealthy sugars and unhealthy fats. The brain loves the term steady. And in my office, I say, the rule of 2s. Eat twice as often, eat half as much, and chew twice as long. And the brain says, I like that. Again, the rule of 2, Dr. Bill's rule of 2s. Eat twice as often, eat half as much, and chew twice as long. Now, as a little joke, for kids, I get a lot of things, my kid's a gorger, just eats too fast. My husband's a gorger, eats too fast. So for the kids, I tell them, the longer you chew, the better you poo. And they remember that. See, when it comes to more complicated the organ, like the brain, the more fun you need to make it, especially for kids. Snacks, right? And smoothies. A shake a day helps keep the brain doctor away. So I have a smoothie in the morning, full of the rainbow of colors. Smoothie in the morning, and a salad in the evening. Seafood. Why is seafood so smart? The top food, the top nutrient in seafood, omega fats, happens to be the top fat in the brain. To get kids to remember that, I said, we are all fatheads. Fathead. The brain's mostly fat. Therefore, you need to eat smart fat. And the smartest fat is just what you see right there. Now, many times they'll say, okay, Dr. Bill, I agree with all the 5. How many do I need to take? How many, say, fruits and vegetables do I need to eat every day? You need to eat a minimum of 10 fistfuls of fruits and veggies every day. Now, if you also need to eat 2 fistfuls of wild salmon twice a week. Hold up your fist. It's a baby fist or a big guy fist. Whatever fist you have, you need to eat 10 servings of fruits and veggies, and 2 per day and 2 a week of seafood. And most of my patients, and our family too, can't do that. So I go into supplements. Now, science-based supplements. Supplements based on science. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk about how to choose a smart supplement, any smart supplement. Yes, go ahead, Kristen. So, now when you want to talk about nutrition, say you're teaching your kids about nutrition, your mom and dad about nutrition, your friends about nutrition. It's called That Makes Sense. Have you ever listened to someone preach at you or advise you or give you some loving advice, and you just take a deep breath? Wow, that makes sense. Because so when you hear that, you know You've connected with them. So let's start with, I'm a fathead. So the brain is 60% fat, and I don't eat enough fats. The number one fat for the brain is wild Alaskan salmon, omegas. Therefore, I need to eat more omega supplements. That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't eat enough, but I need more. Therefore, I take more. Makes sense. Now, antioxidants. You're going to hear that word everywhere. Here's what it means. The brain is mostly fat, fathead. What is it about fat that makes it prone to illness, to rust and decay? Ever leave a piece of fresh fish out overnight? You smell it in the morning, it stinks. Medical term for stinks is it oxidizes, it decays. Therefore, to keep the brain from decaying, you need more antioxidants. And if you don't eat 10 fistfuls of fruits and vegetables every day, top antioxidants, Dr. Mom said, eat more fruits and veggies, then you need to take a supplement of antioxidants, fruits, veggies, and berries. That makes sense.
Yes, to protect the brain from the oxidation, that damage, that rusting of the brain. That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So we need an omega supplement and a antioxidant supplement. Now, what's interesting, and we'll talk a little bit more about supplements a little bit later. But make your own medicines. Now, I want everybody to take a visual snapshot of this slide. It is probably the most important medical and health slide you will ever see. It actually won the Nobel Prize. So what you're about to hear is, I call it my wow tip. I didn't know that. That makes sense. So I want to take you on a trip of two eaters, all right? And I want you to remember that inside your body, you have your own personal pharmacy. Yes, you are a walking pharmacy. You can make your own medicines. So let's take two different people. Let's take the bottom person first. Let's say that's a person from Nebraska. Okay, Nebraska. Farming, all the good stuff, real grass-fed beef, real non-GMO stuff, real food. Big farms. You go out and you pick your own, you grow your own real food. Person from Nebraska. Now you notice in the bottom there, all those little medicine bottles says RX on it. Now this won the Nobel Prize. The lining of our arteries, called the silver lining, called the endothelium. In the lining of your arteries, you have trillions of these little medicine bottles. And they make lots of medicines. Now, when you run, see that person there is eating all the fruit and veggies, taking the right supplements, taking seafood and omegas, and that person does not have sticky stuff on top of the medicine bottle. So the medicine bottle's open. And we're going to come back to veg in a minute, what that is. Well, actually, veg, one of the medicines it makes, when we move, when we run, when we get the blood flows faster over our medicine bottle, dancing, swimming, running, walking, it releases veg. Veg is called vascular endothelial growth factor, veg for short. And that simply is, in a nutshell, fertilizer for the brain. So as you're walking with a bunch of friends, you could say, wow, I'm making veg. I'm fertilizing my brain just by walking fast. Now, that's the good news. Let's take, so that was Mandy the mover, healthy, did everything that Dr. Mom said. Let's take Sam the sitter. Sam the sitter suffers from the great American new disease called the sitting disease, actually in the doctor's dictionary. Sam's put sticky stuff in his mouth, and if you follow it through his gut and into his blood, you get sticky stuff on top of his medicine bottles, so his pharmacy is closed. His blood flow is slower, and his vessels are more narrow. So Sam sits so much, he doesn't make blood flow to his brain. He doesn't make veg. He doesn't fertilize his brain. Remember, the brain is the greatest garden ever grown. To grow more brain cells, to grow a healthier brain, you need to irrigate it with more blood flow. In fact, the brain is the top organ for blood flow per ounce. So you need more blood flow. Sam is not getting enough because of putting sticky stuff in his mouth, getting sticky stuff on his arteries. So, Sam the sitter, please. So show that with your kids. Now, actually, this is Nobel Prize winning research, made simple. But I showed this to a first grade class one time, this slide, and we talked about, and here's Annabelle, right? Annabelle. This actually was from Annabelle, another class. Annabelle's 10 years of age, but I have some other slides from 6-year-olds. But this is Annabelle. She comes up to me after one of my talks like this about the sticky stuff, and she says, "Dr. Sears, I will always remember veg. I will always remember to eat more fruits and veggies and take the right supplements to keep the sticky stuff off of my medicine bottles so I grow more veg." Wow, 10 years of age. And I had a mom come up after I talked to a first grade class like this. And moms, pay attention. So the mom says, "You're going to love this, Dr. Bill." So after your sticky stuff talk, we went home, and that night my husband took us out to a burger joint. Let's call it McStickies. All right. We went into a burger joint, and as we're coming into the burger joint, my 6-year-old scolds, Daddy, we can't put that sticky stuff in our mouth. We'll get sticky stuff in our brain, and our medicine bottles will be closed, and we won't make veg." Wow, 6 years of age, school teachers, parents, pay attention. Take your kids on a trip like this. They love it.
I have watched kids listen to you, young kids all the way to high school kids, and they are riveted. They understand it. So you were talking about Sam the sitter. So
okay, this
tell
is
us
another
a little
one
bit more
now.
about moving.
And I want to take you into a little more deeper science now. And this is a slide that I made up from the top brain conference I attended last year here in Los Angeles. And this was about 1,000 top neuroscientists throughout the world. And I was an invited guest. So at the end of the meeting, on Sunday afternoon, 3-day meeting, they have a closing keynote of a famous neurologist. And it's always on what is the #1 new medicine for the brain. And it's usually, what are the new drugs for the brain? What are the new drugs for the brain? And we're all sitting there waiting. Oh, wow, medicines for the anxiety, depression. What are the newest drugs for the brain? Out comes Dr. John Ratey, professor of neuropsychiatry at Harvard Medical School, surprises the audience by saying the #1 safest, most science-based drug or medicine for brain health is movement, exercise. Exercise is like miracle grow for your brain garden. Wow, surprised us all. So this is why Dr. Mom said, or Dr. Mom, her prescription for boredom and bad behavior, go outside and play. The more you move, the happier your brain.
Yeah, well, we all feel that if we go out and exercise, we just feel elevated
We do.
mood afterwards. And
We do.
and then you've always taught me that if I'm going to exercise, go do it out in nature.
Out in, out in nature. And Krista, I learned this over in Japan. Now, this is a wonderful book. This is from Dr. Eva Solheim. Eva is a Japanese neurologist at Harvard Medical School. And I was over giving a talk on brain health in Japan. And at the end of the talk, this was a long couple-hour talk. My brain it had it. So our host, Mr. Saganishi, saw that I was stressed. And my nurse, my therapist, says, "Chill, Bill, chill, Bill." But I was all hyped up. So Mr. Saganishi said, "We are going to take you and Mrs. Sears out for some Shinrin Yoku," which I thought was a Japanese drink. So we get in this car and we go to the top of a mountain. We go to the top of a mountain. And we get out of the car and we take a walk in the woods. We take a walk in the woods. And it was during that walk, I kind of create a little poetry for my wife, kind of corny poetry Martha says. And I'm in the woods walking with Martha, and I love trees. Trees are so therapeutic. I said to her, "I know that I shall never see a lady lovely as you are to me." And so at the end of this walk in the woods, I said, I felt so good. Well, it's all in my head. Oh, yes. And then I went back and I learned Shinrin Yoku is a Japanese term for forest bathing. And there's a whole science from the university in Japan where they've taken stressed out people who are high stress, taken them into the woods, wired them up, drawn blood and every other fluid you can get from your body, and tested them during a walk in the woods. And they found that their stress levels go down, their heart rate relaxes, every nice organ in your body relaxes more from a good old walk in the woods. So there's really a lot of science behind forest bathing.
I love that. So here are some of the healing effects of nature on all of the organs of our body.
From top to bottom, there it is, all the good. And so Dr. Mom was right. Go outside and play. In fact, this whole field of nutritional psychiatry, which is the next slide, we can go ahead with that, Kristen. This is a new term, nutritional psychiatry, meaning they're finally getting it. In the old days, well, not so old actually, oh, you have this, take this, next. No. Now it's not only, doctor, what can I take, but doctor, what can I do? And that's those 5 keys. Now think about it. That makes sense. All right. The quickest way to change your brain is to change your diet. Does that make sense? Okay, brain function. The brain 60% fat. Eat a smart fat diet. That makes sense. The brain uses 25% of all the food we eat.
Wow.
Therefore, eat nutrient-dense food. That means more nutrients per calorie. Real food, the 5 S's. The brain produces a lot of oxidation, exhaust, because the brain is a hypermetabolizer. Therefore, we need lots of antioxidants, plant-based food, plant-based supplements, antioxidants. The brain tissue is ultra sensitive to what is called neurotoxin, chemical stuff. Therefore, eat a pure, or what is called a real food diet. And lastly, brain is sensitive to sticky stuff spikes. Therefore, graze. Eat twice as often, half as much, and chew twice as long. That makes sense. You eat that and that. Does it make sense if you don't eat 10 servings of fruits and veggies a day to take a fruit and vegetable supplement and one by science? Yes. So here's how to smartly choose any supplement, because, Kristen, we doctors talk, kind of joke every day. Patients come into our office with this bag of supplements, waste of money. And these supplements go in the top end, come out the bottom end. They never get into the bloodstream because there's no science behind it. So I want you listeners to follow me closely. Here's how to choose every supplement. First of all, do I need it? You ask yourself, do I need it? Show me the necessity. Well, I don't eat 10 fistfuls of fruits and veggies every day. I don't eat 2 fistfuls of wild salmon every week. Therefore, I need a fruit and vegetable supplement, and I need omega supplement. That makes sense. So that's one. Show me the necessity. That makes sense. Next, show me the science. Show me the science. Go on a website. Get out your smartphone. Go like that. Go on a website. And if there is a whole thing up there that says the science behind our supplement, click on it. And if they have it, they are proud to show you their science. If they don't show you any science, no, 2 thumbs down. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to buy it because there's no science. The reason I choose Plus, and it's the reason it's the top nutrient, the top supplement that I prescribe in my medical practice, in my own family, and it's currently the only nutritional supplement I presently take. It is because it is the most scientifically based fruit and veggie supplement on the planet. So the science is there. Now finally, show me the results. Wow, I've been using it for 20 years in my medical practice. Patients come in, Dr. Bill, you used to see us all the time. We were so sick. Since we started Juice Plus in our family, we're not sick as often. We are not sick as often. That makes sense. One of the best foods to feed your immune system, fruit, veggie, berries, and omega. That makes sense. So the immune system says, hey, you feed us better and we'll fight for you. We're going to talk about the immune system a little bit later. And I had parents would come in and say, you know what, Dr. Bill, my kids would never eat seafood. They would never eat fruits and veggies. They would not eat enough salad, smoothies. Once I started giving them the Juice Plus capsule, Juice Plus gummy, once I started feeding them the Juice Plus supplement that you prescribe, now they will come in and eat more fruits and veggies. And now as a doctor, when I see something happen in my office, I want to know why. I want to know why. So let me take you on a trip through the brain, maybe starting with a baby. What goes on? How you program little growing brains and little growing guts to crave fruits and veggies. So that makes sense. Just why is Juice Plus a smart supplement? The brain needs antioxidants. As you said, Juice Plus is loaded with phytonutrients, antioxidants. The brain needs omega fats because we're fathead. Juice Plus provides a top source of omega fats called a sea plant source, an algae source. It's actually where fish eat carrots. What the brain needs is more blood flow to the brain. Interesting, fascinating study where they studied Juice Plus eaters and found that their vessels dilate and the blood flows better in their vessels. More blood flow to the brain, so your gut garden. The brain needs less neuroinflammation is the big word behind all those illnesses we talked about. Rust in one word. Juice Plus, full of fruits and veggies and berries and omegas, balances inflammation. where your immune system is just right. It doesn't go up too high and you get autoimmune itises, or it doesn't go down too low and you get sick and tired. It's just right. It makes sense.
I love that, because these different autoimmune diseases of the brain are very frightening to people, like MS and
really,
ALS. So
and
that
they're so preventable.
that's so important for people to know. People feel like they can't prevent it, that it's just something in their genetics, but science is showing the opposite of that.
Absolutely. In fact, genetics plays about a 20% influence on all this stuff at the most, which means it's 80% what we call LEAN, how you live, how you eat, how you think, and how you move. Lifestyle, exercise, attitude, nutrition. Much more important than genes.
Love that, because we're in control of that. Thank you.
Yes.
So you've told us this is the only supplement you take,
That's
and
still
why?
the only supplement I take, because number one, it makes sense, because it's ground up fruit, veggies, berries, omegas, all the things that I need that I have trouble eating enough. So it makes sense, and it has science behind it. That's it. Very simple.
I just like to show everybody, because for me this was really important when you first recommended Juice Plus for our family, to see not only are we not getting enough fruits and vegetables, but we don't get this variety every day. We tend to eat about 4 or 5 different things. So for me to see this and to see, wow, every single day I have berries going into my body, helping my circulation, helping my brain, my heart, my kids, my husband, that I might not even find at the market. You know, some berries like bilberry, and well, now elderberries become a really big thing, but I've been getting that in our Juice Plus for over 20 years. Black currant, red currant, cranberry, blackberry, and then all these different greens and beets and tomato, cranberries, pineapple, cherries, apples, papaya, peach. And they actually use the skin too, because it has so much nutrition in it, a lot of vitamins in the skin. So
absolutely. And you know, when you look at that picture, one big word comes to mind, and that is synergy. Synergy. Now, what does that mean? Synergy. That simply means when you take a little bit of all those fruits and vegetables and berries and all those good plant foods that Kristen just went through, when you take a little of them and you put them all together, it's like a team of 30 players that says, when you put us together, we play better as a team. It's like a football team, Nebraska, you all have good football. It's a team of 11 players, a lot stronger than a team of 5 players. So that is called synergy.
Well, we sure noticed that, Dr. Bill, when we added the berry blend, because at first we were able to take the fruit and the veggie blend, and then they came out with the berry blend, and it's like everything got better. Our immune systems, our energy, and our blood work, everything got better. And you said, well, that's because your circulation's improving, and all the nutrients from all these other fruits and vegetables are getting better delivered to all the organs in your body, and their synergy of them working together.
That's right, and that's why blueberries are called the brain berry. Just that. Honey, it's time for your brain berry. Brain berry.
I love that. So here's a food synergy.
You grind up over 30 fruits and veggies in a capsule, a little bit, and wow, we work better as a team. Synergy. That's why salads are great. That's why smoothies are great. You put a whole lot together, they work better.
And I just want to tell everybody, you know, looking back at the slide, that another thing that's so important, because you're wanting us to avoid toxins, is that, whoops, okay, let's see, there we go, that all of these fruits and vegetables and the actual powders in the capsules have been tested, that there's no bad stuff, there's no toxins, there's no pesticides, herbicides, yeast, bacteria, mold. That gives me a lot of peace of mind. And other people ask, Dr. Bill, like, how do you get all those fruits and vegetables into a small capsule? And you told me that's because they're mostly water. So when you take the water out, you're left with those micronutrients that fit in a capsule.
That's exactly, and you used the magic term micronutrients, Kristen, and this is what one of the biggest changes in pediatrics is called microexposures. And that's why we're going to talk about my sprinkle test in the office a little bit later. So a little bit about the fruits and veggies science. Now, there are over 35 scientific studies on Juice Plus from top universities. So I'm going to take 35 studies, and summarize it in less than 30 seconds. Basically, fruits and veggie and omega supplements. That capsule you saw, all those ground up fruits and veggies, they keep the sticky stuff off the medicine bottle. They keep the sticky stuff off your blood, so your blood flows faster and your vessels are larger. More blood to an organ, and Kristen, one of the most important medical truisms is every organ of your body is only as healthy as the blood supply to it. So you make healthier blood vessels for your brain, your gut, your heart, skin, your eyes. You make better blood vessels to every organ works better. And this is what Juice Plus does. It just makes our blood vessels healthier.
I love that. Love this picture. Thank you. So supplements supported by science. And
absolutely.
These are the journals that the Juice Plus research is published in. And that's really hard to get your research published in journals like that, right, Dr. Sears?
It truly is. And that's what attracted me to use this supplement in my own practice and my own family. Because again, show me the science. There is not a fruit, vegetable, and berry supplement on the planet that even comes close to this. And in fact, babies. I love talking about babies.
Well,
and that's how you and I met.
Yes, I guess this is a good time for me to share my story.
Yes, babies.
So actually, we first met you when this is Jacob over here, and my daughter. I want to share a particular story at their age, but we first met you when Jacob was 9 months old, and I'm so grateful for you. And you just changed everything, changed our perspective. And this picture right here, the kids look really healthy, but you know that you helped them through. They both were born with gastroesophageal reflux disease, and Alexandra at the time was suffering and on medications. And Jacob, we thought, was doing really well and on his way. And I noticed as a mom, moms out there listening, when something is wrong with your child. You can tell there's something different. And I knew it was more than a cold or flu because he didn't have interest in eating. He didn't have interest in playing. And one day we were walking across the street to get the mail, and he just collapsed on the pavement. And I had to scoop him up with the baby in my arms, carry him home, and pretty darn scared, I called you, and you said, bring him right in. And I did, and you sent us to get blood work, and you called me back that day. And moms, if you get a call from your doctor the same day your child has blood work, you better be concerned. And you said to me, Kristen, his white blood count is extremely low. It's barely readable. I will need to refer him to a hematologist, and I knew what that meant. But you gave me this hope. I'm going to share these 3 things with everybody here because this has been a prescription for health and healing in our family and hundreds of other families as we've shared it. So first thing you told us was to survey stress, that it impacts kids just like adults. And he was pretty unhappy in his preschool. So you said, okay, doesn't need to do that right now. The second thing you said was to maximize the nutrition, that like just what you talked about every day. Before that, every day, everything that he ate, it needed to be something that was building up his immune system and not tearing it down. And so you told us about your smoothie recipe, and it used the Juice Plus plant powder, superfood plant powder called Juice Plus Complete. And I could mix that with some plant milk and throw in some frozen berries and maybe a handful of greens and a little nut butter, some healthy fats, and mix up a smoothie that Jacob loved to drink. but it had a ton of nutrition. That combined with the Juice Plus, which was the third recommendation, I was getting 45 plant foods into my son just at breakfast. And there was no way we were even coming close to 5 before that. So you said, Kristen, I want you to do this for 2 weeks because this testing, this blood work is going to be really invasive on Jacob. And we're just going to reassess. And oh my gosh, what a difference. He like started to have energy again. He started to want to eat even more than he ever had as a toddler. And in a very short period of time, his blood work returned to normal. And you all, this is my son and daughter down at the bottom here. And Juice Plus has been our nutritional seatbelt for the last 21 years because of that recommendation. And in fact, my husband and I both decided that we needed to take it too, because you gave us some great education. My husband's never been sick, and he said, yeah, but your dad never felt his heart disease coming on. So when you were talking about that sticky stuff and how it doesn't allow enough blood flow to the major organs, I was pregnant with Jacob when I got a call from my mom. It changed my whole life. She said, Kristen, your dad was supposed to pick me up from work and he's not here. And my dad, the hero of my life, the person most proud of me, I couldn't wait to make him a grandpa. And I tried to reach him and I couldn't. So I drove to my parents' home and I found my 55-year-old dad, the hero of my life, on the kitchen floor. And he was gone. And for all of you listening, this information that Dr. Sears is sharing is so important because you taught me, Dr. Sears, that 50% of the time, you don't get the wake-up call. It's too late. And that's what it was for my dad. And we had to wait to find out. And they said congestive heart failure, which was basically too much sticky stuff in his vessels. He couldn't get enough oxygenated blood to his brain. And so he never got to meet these kids. My son is so much like him. And so to learn that, and I was worried. I was like, oh my gosh, what about me? What about our family? What about our risk for heart disease? My dad wasn't overweight, and he seemed to exercise, but he was not eating a lot of real food, and he had a lot of stress in his life. So I've been so happy to see the changes in our cardiac profiles. And actually my cardiologist, you know him, Dr. Rajput, is so impressed with our heart scans and our blood work that he decided he needed to eat Juice Plus too, and he needed to tell all his patients about it. So I'm so grateful to you, and my kids are, and you're going to talk to us about how Juice Plus helps everybody from a baby to a senior. So tell us about babies.
Well, yes, let's go into my office and imagine you have a baby, and your baby's around 5 or 6 months of age, and we're having what we call the shaping young taste talk. In other words, starting solid food. First one we start with is avocados, because avocados, they're a fruit, but they taste like a veggie, and you want to program your child for veggies, and they're full of healthy fat because you have a fat head. Next, salmon at 7 months. Now this will surprise a lot of folks. Salmon at 7 months, wild salmon. Here in America, we get wild salmon all year long. That's Alaska. And salmon at 7 months, you get it and you mash it just a little bit, and you put it on your child's tongue, little by little, and they get a taste for it. And then I do what I call sprinkles. So I open a Juice Plus capsule of veggies. And this is our grandson, Levi. I open a Juice Plus capsule of veggies. See all the green stuff? They look like veggies. They taste like veggies. They smell like veggies because they are veggies, the green stuff. And Levi licks his finger and he touches Mom's hand full of green stuff, the sprinkles, Juice Plus veggies, and then he puts on his tongue. And then he licks Mom's hand. And you do that once a day, getting it 6 or 7 months. And as they get older, twice a day, 3 times a day. Then I found that I studied these kids, my sprinkles tests. And moms would come in, they'd say, you know, Dr. Bill, my sprinkle child, this is the very first child of my 4 children who loves and craves fruits and veggies. Aha, why? What's going on? So follow me a minute from tongue to head brain to gut brain. And here's what I believe is going on. When you put veggies, round up veggies, in say a Juice Plus veggie capsule, on a child's tongue, you start with just a little bit. And they lick it. Wow. And the taste receptor, lots of nerves on the tip of the tongue, send a biochemical text message to the brain. And the brain says, like, the crave center of the brain says, like veggies, because that's an antioxidant. We're oxidizing up here. Like, gets better. So the head brain talks to the gut brain. And the head brain sends a biochemical text message down the middle of the body. The biggest nerve is called the super nerve highway of the body, connecting the head brain to the gut brain. And the head brain says to the gut, hey gut, your favorite food is coming down, veggies. So you register like, and the gut brain says a text message back up to the brain, like, and the brain says to the tongue, keep eating more veggies 3 times a day for a year or 2. And that is imprinted into your child for life. You have grown that child's crave veggie centers for the rest of his or her life. Wow.
Wow, that is so wonderful for parents to know that they could have that kind of impact on their child. And I know even during pregnancy that the moms that we've helped get started on the fruit and veggie and berry powders during pregnancy, that those babies even crave more fruits and vegetables as they start to eat.
Absolutely. So start it young. And you see, this is I love getting testimonies. I love getting testimonies from parents and all. And I've gotten so many testimonies with, once I started Juice Plus, Dr. Bill, my kids are all so healthy. And again, it makes sense. For fruits, veggies, berries, and omegas, all their nervous system, all their gut system, all their brain system works better. It's called hormonal harmony. And if we think of our brain and our body as the greatest orchestra ever played, and the more you feed your orchestra players the right food, the better music they play. And we call beautiful music health, and not so good music illness. You want your kids, your whole family, your friends to play beautiful music, and that's what fruits and veggies do for you.
That's a wonderful image. Now I'm going to be thinking about that. This right here is a friend of mine, Deborah Sussman, is a marriage family therapist, and she actually specializes in treating children with ADD, and her daughter struggles with that. And she started taking and giving to her kids. There's gummies too for the kids in the fruit, veggie, and the berry. But she started giving her kids, these are her twins right here, all of these, including the omegas for the brain. And she noticed some real improvement in things like in her what she called executive functioning. So her ability to focus in school, to focus on her homework, her script, the legibility of her handwriting, her mood, her calmness, her joy. And then they went on vacation. This was only 3 weeks after adding the omegas to the Juice Plus. They went on vacation, and she said all of her challenges came back because they forgot their Juice Plus. So she goes, you better believe when we got back, we got right on the Juice Plus, and Deborah now recommends all the blends, including the omega fats, to her patients, to her pediatric and adult patients.
Yes,
that story.
I do too. Salads, my home pharmacy. My home pharmacy. Now, I want all our listeners to look at this picture carefully. Wow. That is what we call the Tower Garden. I call it my home pharmacy, F-A-R-M, pharmacy. Now, those of you who don't have a Tower Garden, I want you to connect for those on our program tonight to find out where you get a tower gun. My goal, my dream is that every home, every backyard, every balcony, every school classroom has a tower garden. They were invented as Disney World, Epcot. Wow, grow your own. And you know, kids will eat what they grow. And our grandkids love coming out to my pharmacy and picking their own, the lovely tomatoes and the leaves and the broccoli and the kale, oh, the arugula, oh, they love it. So grow your own pharmacy at home. Get a tower garden.
So this is offered by the Juice Plus company too, and one of the things I love about it is that it's so much easier. It's so much easier because it waters itself. So the water comes up from the basin and it rains down on the roots. There's no soil, and you use only 10% of the water in the space, and it tastes so good to just go right from the tower to your salad bowl, tower to table.
That's right.
And some of those greens we use in our smoothies too.
Mm-hmm.
So you also did a wonderful talk this year that I got to be a part of for a group of teens, and I just thought this was, you know, we hear now that this group, this age range of teens, young adults, they have more anxiety and depression, more loneliness than any generation ever. And you have some really important things to say about teen brains.
Yeah, and in fact, the rest of our talk will be, as we wind down, we're talking about anxiety, depression, happier brains, how to have happier brains. And what concerns me as a father, grandfather, and a pediatrician is that the epidemic of teen depression and anxiety is the highest that I have ever seen. And the statistics are not good. So this picture shows us, I call it think changing your brain. The old term was cognitive behavioral therapy. I like the term think change your brain. So when you come into my office and say, hello, Susie, I'm going to help you think change your brain. Oh, thanks, Dr. Bill. Hey, Sam, I'm going to help you think change your brain. So here's a picture. Now this is what technology has done. It's given us windows into our brain. Now there's a 40-year-old man who on the left there, and that arrow shows the sad center, the worry center, the fear center. It's about the size of a quarter. 10 weeks after think changing your brain, which simply means, hey, happy thoughts only. Toxic thoughts go into the trash bin. Toxic thoughts go into the trash bin. Trash toxic thoughts, enter happy thoughts. Don't think like this, think like that. I am a wonderful person. I am happy, that type of thing. Happy thoughts. The sad center. From the size of a quarter to the size of a dime. And it showed us by technology that we can think change our brain. We can actually change the inside of our brain by putting happier thoughts into it. And this is why I tell parents, give them little tools. And here's some tools for kids. I have them put on there, and you can begin this at age 7 or 8, or even earlier. I have them put on the mirror in their bathroom before they go to bed 5 things I like about me. Attitude of gratitude. I like my hair. I like my home. I like my school. I like certain things I do. I'm a good soccer player. And then as they go to sleep, they lie down and they drift off to sleep saying, I am, attitude of gratitude. I am pretty. I am smart. I am a good guitar player. I am a good soccer player. I am. And their happy center dials up. Their sad center, their stress center dials down. And they drift off to sleep. I am a nice person. We want to instill those tools into our children.
Very good. And so much on social media and the comparison of what's not truly real has really distorted their own self-image. So we as parents can be reminding them of who they truly are. What I love
Right.
that, I am. And this is really surprising, this last line here about Alzheimer's begins in adolescence. I bet
Yes,
most people don't know that.
they don't realize that. I was playing golf one day with Dr. Ben Fortin, as professor of neuropsychiatry at USC, and author of the anti-Alzheimer's prescription. And I said, Vince, when does Alzheimer's begin? You know, Alzheimer's begins at adolescence. You don't all of a sudden get Alzheimer's. In adolescence, you start building up sticky stuff in your brain, more sticky stuff, and then 40, 50, 60, Alzheimer's. Brain stops working. And it begins early on. And this is why, Kristen, this is why we're so passionate in our health club we talk about, our Truth Plus Health Club, is that we want to start early. Preventive medicine. Skills before pills. Pills and skills model. Sometimes you need pills. Sometimes you need pills and skills. Sometimes skills only, but never pills only. It's always pills and skills if you need the pill. And that's what we're talking about tonight, the skill.
So it's so important. Thank you. So some of the ways that you like to tell these teens, because they hear a lot about what's negative, but they have some really special things about their brains, don't they?
These are all the things that go on in the head brain. But in summary, why they like that, why they're like that. If you picture the teen brain like a car, and there's a big center for the brakes and a big center for the accelerator. And the brakes of the brain, the rational center, is in the front of the brain, and the accelerator of the brain is sort of deep inside the brain, the middle of the brain. Now, in most of us adults, the brakes and the accelerator are equal real estate in the brain. You know, we want to go out, we take chances and all, but then the rational center says, okay, cool it, don't drive too fast. Don't drive under the influence. If you're going to have us go on a skateboard, wear a helmet. Now, in the teen brain, the accelerator, the take chances, novelty, the accelerator center is bigger than the brakes. And it takes around 10 more years from age, say, 10 to age 24 when the accelerator and the brakes equal. So during that time, parents and loved ones add a little bit of the brakes to their brain. The marvelous teen brain, but this is why they act the way they do, because their accelerator is just bigger than the brakes, but it does catch up. We're personally in recovery of our 8 children, 8 teenagers, but the marvelous teen brain, that's the way they act, why they act the way they do.
Thank you. I know there's so much and we have to get going because it's been about an hour here, but we can talk more, even leaving a Voxer message about some of these other things about how important it is, because this age of kids, like the antidote.
Yeah, and I think we'll just go into stress. But shall we go into the thought just here, because we want to end stress since we're almost out of time. And we'll go ahead, we'll skip that just because it's all, that smart foods are easily. Now, this is important. This is important. Now, see that NK cell there in your body, and follow me now. Everyone in our body has cancer cells because that's the way that happens. Cells keep multiplying and one goes haywire. We all have them. But the great designer in our body, our own anti-cancer fighters, cells. They're called NK cells, like this picture. They look like little Pac-Man. And when a cancer cell is in the body, the Pac-Man there, it searches out like a search and destroy, like a magnet, goes next to the cancer cell and literally shoots a biochemical bullet into the cancer cell and blows it up. Now, what makes those cancer cells fight better? All those foods we talked about, fruit, veggies, healthy spices, all the things that Dr. Mom said. But in addition to feed me well and I'll fight for you, the more you believe in me, believe I will heal from cancer, and you're more likely to heal. So any of you who have friends, loved ones, are struggling to heal from cancer, and I'll talk about my story in a minute, is the more you believe you will heal and the better you feed your NK cells, the better you're likely to heal.
I love that. And I love that the research on fruits and vegetables and the research on Juice Plus shows that these NK cells go higher in your blood.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
now,
so here we go.
This is my personal story. Short story. 7 months ago, I had my yearly checkup with my doctor. Oh, I almost canceled it. I feel fine. How many men have said that? But my nurse from the Midwest says, honey, love you. Go to your checkup. Yes, dear. Get a call from my doctor 2 days later. Bill, sorry to report, your blood count shows you have leukemia. 60%, 55% of your white cells that we tested are cancerous. Oh, I didn't want to hear that. Follow that line. From last February to July of this year, they are now lower than 1%. And from 55% to 1% and lower than 1%, the doctors use that magic word that you want to hear, Bill, you're cured. Wow. So I healed from cancer. Thank you, fruits and veggies. Thank you, the belief effect. Thank you for my Juice Plus Health Club that prayed for me, that sent me well-wishing cards. I had over 800 cards in a day. And that's why this health club, I just want you all to join our club. So that's my personal story, why when you believe you will heal and you eat all the good stuff that feeds your cancer cells, you're more likely to heal.
And you taught me something so important here, because I think this is important for everybody who's listening. Like, we never say that Juice Plus is going to prevent all disease, but by doing the things you recommended, by moving more, by eating lots of fruits and vegetables, growing our own on our tower garden, taking smart supplements that are full of phytonutrients and antioxidants, when these, like you call them, inevitable stressors of aging come upon the body, you have preloaded your body, yes, so that it can fight for you.
And
that term, preloading.
Preload. Preload your body. You may be 20 years of age. Oh, I feel fine. Preload your body for the next 20 years with fruits and veggies and the right supplements and good lifestyle and movement and healthy thinking, like we talked about today. So when things do happen, not your fault, you're preloaded to fight.
Well, we just thank you so much. This is our last slide. I just have to tell you, Dr. Sears, that because of what you've shared with us, I have so much more hope in our family. I have more energy now in my 50s than I did in my 20s and 30s. And we just have hope for the future, and that whatever comes across, that we have the tools. We have the tools for health. So these are the tools that you're recommending here.
These are the tools we talked about today. Try toxic thought. Take a deep breath. Now, have an attitude of gratitude. And swim your worries away. So I want to end now with my parting advice would be: begin your day in a relaxed way. How you begin that first 10, 20 minutes of the day programs your day. Now, everybody needs to develop their personal peace recipe. And here's what I do to start my day. It's called a mantra. Pick out your mantra. It's simply a nice little saying that you feel good about. And my mantra is what I'm thankful for. And I do it either while walking, and I use my mantra in rhythm of walking, or even when you have access to a swimming pool. It's called flotation therapy. So I'm going to demonstrate how I start every day. I get up, I take a swim or a walk. I go Thank you, God, for my life, 78 years. Thank you for my wife, 52 years. Thank you for my health, cancer survivor. Thank you for my wealth, 8 kids. Thank you for my MD. Please make it my ministry. Take a deep breath, and your brain says, I'm preloaded to have a wonderful day. So start the day in a happy way like that.
Wow, I can't think of a better closing than that. Michaela, thank you so much for putting this all together so Dr. Sears could share with everybody.
Thank you,
Oh
Michaela.
my gosh, you guys, thank you
Bye.
so much. That was fantastic. We had over 50 houses that had people in their homes to hear your message. So thank you so much. If you heard something tonight that inspired you to make a lifestyle change, we are so happy. If you heard something that inspired you to incorporate our Juice Plus solutions into your life, we are equally as happy. And if you heard something tonight that inspired you to join this health club of wellness warriors, getting the prevention message out there, we are thrilled as well. So if you have any questions, please contact the person that invited you. And again, you guys, thank you so much. We loved your stories, and it was just a night full of education. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank